Today's lesson is 8.5, Interpret Division with Fractions. Our essential question, how can you use diagrams, equations, story problems to represent division? So let's unlock the problem. Elizabeth has 6 cups of raisins. She divides the raisins into 1/4 cup serving. How many servings does she have? You can use a diagram, equation, or a story problem to represent division. So first of all, how many 1/4 cups are there in 1 cup? Well, there are 4 1/4 cups in 1 cup. How many cups does Elizabeth have? Elizabeth has 6 cups, right? Right here it says she has 6 cups. So let's draw a diagram to solve. We're going to draw 6 rectangles to represent the cups of raisins, and then we're going to draw lines to divide each rectangle into fourths. So let's draw my 6 rectangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, they're kind of lopsided. And then we need to divide them in 4s. And these should be equal parts. And again, they don't look very equal, but we're going to pretend that they are equal 4 parts. Okay, and then to find out what 6 divided by 1/4 is, we're going to count the total number of fourths in 6 rectangles. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fourths, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 6 divided by 1/4 is 24. So Elizabeth is going to have 24 servings. So example number 1, we're going to write an equation to solve. 4 friends share 1/4 of a gallon of orange juice. What fraction of a gallon of orange juice does each friend get? So let's write the equation. 1/4 divided by 4 equals n. Step 2, we're going to write a multiplication problem. So 1/4 times 1/4 equals n. And 1 times 1 is 1, and 4 times 4 is 16. So each friend will get 1/16 gallon of orange juice. Example 2. We're going to write a story problem and then draw a diagram to solve. So we have 4 divided by 1/3. Step 1, choose an item that you would like to divide. So let's think. Your problem should be about how many groups 1/3 are in 4 holes. So the possible items, you could say 4 sandwiches, 4 feet of ribbon, 4 pies, something that you want to divide it. Step 2, write a story problem to represent 4 divided by 1/3 using the items that you chose up here. Describe how it is divided into thirds and then ask how many thirds there are. So here's an example. John has 4 pies. If he wants to give each person 1/3 of a pie, how many people will get a pie? So then if we draw a diagram to solve, here could be my diagram. So you can see here that I have my 1, 2, 3, 4 pies, and I divided them up into thirds. So how many people will get a pie? Well, I've got 4 divided by 1/3, which equals 12. Because if I were to count up each little piece, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the answer is 12 people. Example 3, write a story problem and then draw a diagram to solve. So I have 1/2 divided by 5. So let's choose the item that you want to divide. So let's think about it. Your problem should describe half of an item that can be divided into 5 equal parts. So the possible items for the half of a pizza, half of a yard of rope, half of a gallon of milk. So step 2, let's write a story problem to represent 1/2 divided by 5 using the items that you chose up here. Describe how it's divided into 5 equal parts and then ask about the size of each part. So here's a story right here. Shauna has 1/2 of a yard of rope. She divides the rope into 5 equal pieces. What fraction of a yard is each piece? So let's draw a picture of that. Oops. There we go. There's a picture. So I have I have a half divided by 5. So here's my half, right? So I have a half and a half because this is a whole. And if I divide it by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I only have 1 right here, right? So I have 1, and how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 1/10 fraction of a yard is each piece. Now if I were to use the algorithm, I could take 1/2 divided by 5, remember? And whenever I have a whole number, I put a 1 underneath of it. And so using that algorithm that we did last time, whenever I change the division into a fraction, I do the reverse. So I would do 1/5, okay? And so now I have 1 times 1, which is 1, and I have 2 times 5, which is 10. Whoops, sorry, which is 10. So the answer is 1/10, and you can see I got the same answer there. So you can do the algorithm as well, if that helps you, but definitely I want you to try and picture it in your head. Okay, let's share and show. Complete the story problem that's 3 divided by 1/4. So Carmen has a roll of paper that is, again, 3 feet long. Okay, she cuts the paper into pieces that are 1/4 long, right? 1/4 foot long. So now if I'm going to solve this, I can use the algorithm. So I have 3 divided by 1/4. Again, I'm going to put a 1 underneath here, okay? And then whenever I change this to a multiplication, I'm going to take this, I'm going to write the inverse of it. So now my new problem is 3/1 times 5/1. And I get 3 times 5 is 15. And 1 times 1 is 1, so the answer is 15/1, or 15 pieces of paper, okay? 15 pieces of paper. So let's do the next one. Draw a diagram to represent the problem, then solve. April has 6 fruit bars. She cuts the bars into halves. How many half-size bars does she have? So again, I have 6 fruit bars. I'm going to divide by half, right? So again, I can use my algorithm. So 6/1, and then I take, and if I'm going to make this a multiplication, I'm going to do the inverse here, so it'll be 2/1. So now I have 6 times 2 is 12, and I have 1 times 1 is 1. So my answer is 12. Okay, so 12 1/2 size bars. So let's look at the next one. We have write an equation to represent the problem, then solve. 2 friends share 1/4 of a peach pie. What fraction of a whole pie does each friend get? So let's look down here. So we have 1/4 divided by 2 equals n. Okay, so that's the same thing as saying 1/2 times 1/4, which equals n. So if n is 1/8, then the answer is 1/8 of a whole pie. Okay, I'd like you to do the rest of the problems on your own. You can use a partner, and then I'm also on the carpet if you need any help. Good luck.